Black's really cool because it's kind of committing, because you've walked down, you have to climb out, so it's not so easy to bail. And if you do bail, and you're faced with this horrible walk out of the gully. And I just like it because it has all the cool elements of, it's kind of like an alpine climbing area almost. It's got loose rock and run out climbing, but it's also got good technical pitches and good quality pitches as well. And so it's a really good area to kind of learn and get improved and get comfortable in uncomfortable situations.
I like the Black Canyon because you can go down there and in one day have a real big serious adventure. So haven't climbed there certainly as much as Josh or some other folks that I know, but I've had some great days there. I like also the kind of the style or the ethic of trying to climb fast and light that people like Jimmy Dunn really pioneered in the Black Canyon with the rope rack and shirt on your back ethos. So just going down there for a day, climbing something big, going fast, and having a big adventure. It's definitely an adventurous place.
The Black Canyon is special, and every time I climb there with a friend that hasn't climbed there before, they immediately get excited. It's just beautiful. It's special. And the blade times are really cool because you can look down into the canyon and see the swallows and the swifts below you, and the sun's reflecting off their back like little specks of dust. You can sort of trip out on them. Yeah, I think I've been pretty lucky climbing in Colorado Springs. Started in 1966, and I've been surrounded by extremely motivated climbers that were a lot of fun to climb with. They were very good climbers, and we all pushed each other, and it helped all of us become very good climbers.
The very first hard pitch is a 511, and it's really, really classic climbing, like really clean dihedral feature. You pull a little roof, and it's got really thin pro and not all that great of a fall should you fall off. And it's kind of insecure climbing, and it's always really exciting, and I always sort of don't look forward to climbing that pitch when I'm going up there.
Actually, I started climbing after high school. My parents sent me on an outward bound trip as my graduation present from high school. And then I went to school at the University of Colorado and, again, did a little bit of climbing every year, but wasn't all that into it. In fact, didn't really understand why people were so, excited about climbing, why they got so passionate about it and why they spent their whole lives doing it. Until one day I remember I went and did this climb in El Dorado Canyon called the Yellow Spur. And I didn't know about any of these climbs. My friend who'd been climbing for a while would just take me to do all these classic climbs. And he'd say, hey, why don't we do this climb, why don't we do that climb? And of course these are mega classic climbs in Colorado. And like something went off in my head that I just realized I could do a classic climb, like the Yellow Spur every single weekend, and just realize that there's a unlimited amount of possibilities.
think the first time I ever went climbing was at a place in southern New Hampshire called Pawtuckaway, a little area called the Lower Slabs, Pawtuckaway. And I was probably 7 or 8. My dad was a climber. My dad and his old climbing partner took his kids and me top roping at this place. And I think we tried something called Pete's Tree, which is a really classic 5.5. It's like maybe 40 feet tall. And I cried pretty much the entire time. I thought it was terrible and terrifying and pretty scary.
But I started climbing with Josh when he was just a teenager, and back then I could, pretty much hold my own with him, and maybe even school him a little bit from time to time. And we used to joke around about how 10 years from then I'd be have kids and be a professional and be too busy to climb all the time, so Josh would be my guide and drag me up stuff. And pretty much that's how it is now. I'm just happy if I can be on the same rope with him these days.
I guess climbing fast is just fun because you get to cover lots of terrain in a day. Like I've done some link ups in the Black Canyon and done routes quickly in the Black Canyon and other places in Yosemite, and yeah, it's good training because you get better at doing things quickly, so you don't have to bring bivy gear, you don't have to spend the night out and that kind of stuff. But it's also just fun to cover a lot of terrain in a day, because what's better than rock climbing? More rock climbing, so. You get to climb more and have more fun if you move quickly. So. I just put my head down, heard it clunk, and but that pitch has always been kind of loose and it sheds holds, and I was following the pitch and broke a foothold, and so I fell off, and I guess the cam behind that big flake got weighted, and when that got weighted, it pulled and rocked off the huge flake it was behind. And I guess fortunately, Phil hadn't put any more pieces in, so I swung out of the way of the block. And but man, I was not psyched that Aaron and my dad and people who I have relationships with got to see that. That was not good. But that's kind of the nature of the black. It has some loose stuff, and occasionally you pull it off, and you just hope you're out of its way when it falls. So, but the route's better now because it's cleaner. So.
Down, broke down, down, broke down. Down, broke down, down, broke down. Down, broke down, down, broke down. Like a cow on the road. No gas left in the map slow down. There's no place left to go. Down,
personality, mentally unstable, more romantically able, perplexed on what she used to be. Her lifeless personality, she's come so far. We're not far. Walking down the road.
Climbing with Phil's really inspiring because he does so much. He pours, 110% into everything in his life, whether it's family, work, or climbing. And I find that really inspiring because you know that whether he climbs well or not, he's always trying as hard as he can and always giving it his all. I think learning something new is the time when it's the most fun because you can see big improvements and feel such a sense of accomplishment when you do something, So in high school, my friend and I would go down to the gunks and we'd do classic 5-4 like Gelsa, or we'd go do Three Pines, or we'd go do high exposure, and it just seemed so wild and so much fun and so rewarding, and those are some of the best climbing days I've ever had.